Hello and welcome to episode 2 of Unreal Blender. In this episode I will cover the basics to export FBX files from Blender and import them to Unreal Engine 4. The first thing I will do in the game engine is create a static mesh folder so that we have a location to import the FBX file to. In Blender I will create a cube and set this cube on the same ground level as the game engine. To be sure that the cube is on the same level as the ground in the game engine, I will enable the snapping tool in Blender. For the sake of proper workflow, I will also make a UV map. Then in the top viewport, be sure to be in Edit mode, press U and select Smart UV Project. For this tutorial, I will use the default settings. I will make a second UV map for the light map. I have given the second UV map the name Light Map. Enable the camera next to the UV map so that we are editing that selected UV map. Then again in the top viewport, press U and select this time Light Map back. Again for this tutorial I will use the default settings. Now the mesh is ready to be exported to the game engine. Go to File, Export and choose FBX. Select the location where you want to export the FBX file to. Then in the Export FBX settings, change the following settings. In the main view, use the scale of 1.0. Change the forward axis to -x forward. And change the up axis to Z up. The other settings I leave them at default. In geometry, set the smoothing to edge. In case you're using modifiers on your mesh, you might want to enable the option Apply Modifiers. However, when you're at the point of exporting your mesh to an FBX file, you should have already applied all your modifiers. Just keep that in mind. In the Armatures tab, disable the Add Leaf Bones. And in the Animation tab, I leave everything as is. Then give your export a name. Now that you have set up all these export settings, you can save them as a preset so that you don't have to change them every time you export. Click on this plus symbol and give it a name, something like Unreal Engine 4 Export. Now the next time that you are exporting something, you can use the preset. When you're ready, click on the Export FBX button. In your project, be sure that you have selected the static mesh folder and then press Import. Select your FBX file and press Open. Because we do not have any materials or textures added to our mesh, we can have these options disabled. Once you have added materials, enable this option. Press Import. And our cube has been added to the game. In case you want to update your mesh, you can go back to your Blender file and change whatever you want to change. Override the existing FBX file. Then in the game engine, right click on your asset and choose for re-import. You can also export FBX files from Unreal Engine 4. Right click on your asset and select Asset Actions and choose for Export. Create a new scene in Blender. Go to File, Import, FBX and open your FBX file. Unreal Engine 4 likes to triangulate faces from a mesh, so don't be surprised when the faces are triangulated after importing it into Blender. That's it for this episode. I hope you learned something new and like this video. Please hit the like button and subscribe for more.